Hello everyone, welcome to Keyboard Only tutorial. This is the first video in the series. I hope it will help you guys learn a little bit of something. And if it doesn't, let me know in the comment what other area you want me to go through and talk about. I have put the table of content of this video down in the description, so feel free to jump into the sections you are more interested in. And if you really think the video helped you, please watch the video again, play it in the background, run through all the advertisement. It will really help me. Before I start, I want to tell a little bit of background behind this series of videos. I'm a 10-year-old accountant and business analyst, and throughout my career, in every single one of the company, I'm the go-to Excel person in each of them, basically. What strikes me the most is that what I do is not particularly hard. It requires a little bit of muscle memories, requires a little bit of critical thinking and problem-solving skills, but nothing too hard. So what I want to do is to document all the tricks, the tools, the measures that I use during my career, and hopefully it will teach all of us a little bit about Excel, and hopefully it will help you in your own career and make you look like an Excel god when you're navigating and putting in formulas, analyzing Excel without any help of the mouse. Now to start, the one most important thing using Excel without the mouse is how to navigate. I have here a spreadsheet I downloaded from Microsoft, and I assume everyone should know how to use the arrow key up, down, left, and right. And now, how to navigate fast in a spreadsheet is to just add control. So when you press control, you'll see that on my little keyboard. When it's blue, it means I'm holding it down. When you press control and then you press the arrow, it will basically skip to the end of your data. Now using Excel is a little bit hard to explain. Let me go to a Word. Now here, in the Word, when you use arrow, you're jumping one character by one character. But then if you apply control, holding control and then you press arrow, you are skipping every single word. Excel is pretty much the same, except every single cell is like a character. So if I put something over here, here, and here. Now when I press control, hold it down, and then arrow, it jumps to the beginning of that cluster of data. And then when you press it again, it jumps to the end, press it again, and then jump to the beginning. So this is how you navigate fast within a column. You basically just jump to the end of that cluster. So that's control and arrow. The second trick I use is home and end. Now, when you're in just a random cell in an Excel and you press home, it will jump to the first column of that row. And if you press end, nothing happens. Now, when you add control to it, hold it down, and then put home, it will jump to the first cell after you freeze the panel. I'll explain that in a little bit. And then when you press end, it will jump to the end of your spreadsheet. That you have basically the end of the cell, which was the last column and last row you ever had data. So for example, if I put something in this cell, and then when I press Control N, it will jump to column B. Now if I add something on column W, and then if I press Control N, it will jump to column W. Now that's Control Home and N. And when I said Control Home, it's jumping to the first cell after you apply the freeze view. Then what I mean is, if you freeze the panel and then go to some other cell and then Control Home again, you see it will jump to C2 right now instead of A1. That's because we applied the freeze view. Now, the next thing is how to select data. I mean, we all know we hold down Shift and then press the arrow. You select different cells. You can also apply what I just told you. hold down Control and Shift and then arrow, it will immediately jump to the end of the row. And then you press left arrow, it will jump to the beginning of the row. You press down arrow, it will jump down to the end of the column. Up arrow to the beginning of the column. You can also apply the same. Hold down Control Shift and then press Home. It will jump to the beginning of the cells, and then press End, it will go to the end of the cell. So this is a pretty good trick that you can combine and use. You can mix and match however you like. Now, selecting the entire row without even using arrow is Shift and Spacebar. Now, Shift and Spacebar will select the entire row. And then to select the entire column is Control and Spacebar. Now, there's one caveat to it. If you are using an older version of Excel, I believe it's 2010 and before, and you have multiple languages in your computer, Control Spacebar sometimes is the default key shortcut to change language, and it won't work to your Excel. You have to remap it in your language setting. But I believe Excel patched that, so for anyone that's using Excel after 2010, you're good. Now, the next one I want to show you is to add column and add row very quickly. Most of you guys probably already know that, but it's worth mentioning because sometimes, like we want to sum up, say, these three data. All you can do is highlight the entire row and then Control Shift plus to just add a row, and then you can add a formula to just add up the three numbers, and then oh, that's the number I want, and then right after you have it, just delete the row. Now, adding a row is Control Shift plus. Deleting a row is Control Shift minus. Control minus, I'm sorry. Now, I would suggest to take just pause the video, go back and try a little bit of each of the commands or shortcuts that I teach. A lot of these are muscle memories, and eventually you just forget like exactly what you're pressing, but your body just do it. Now, with that being said, let's jump to the next section. After you master how to navigate around your Excel spreadsheet, the next thing you want to do after you pull up a brand new spreadsheet is to format them. Most of us know to just right click and then go to format cell. I'm going to teach you how to do that and then do a couple other tricks without using the mouse. A lot of your keyboards will have a right click button right here. When you press that, it brings up the right click menu. And then you see in each of the options, each one character is being underlined. That's actually the shortcut to go to these options. So for formatting cell, the character F is underlined. So you press F, brings it up. Again, you will see for category is the character C is underlined. Now in this case, you actually need to hold and press and hold Alt and press C. And once you've done that, it will jump to that table. Now when you press the arrow, it will select different things. Now you see different tabs over here: number, alignment, font, border, film protection. How to jump from one tab to another tab? You do that by holding down Control and pressing page up, page down. Again, you will see each of these options, they have one character underlined. In that case, hold down Alt and press the character you want to jump to, say size. Immediately jump to that. And then go to the next tab, go to the next tab, and then go back to category, and then change the format. Now, so most of the time we don't want to change format one by one, so we'll highlight the entire row, right click button, and then format, and then we have these window. Go to category, get numbers, and then this is unit so I don't really want decimal place, so put a 0, use a 1000 separator, and then enter. There you go. You just format the entire row without even using your mouse. We can do the same for this one. Let me leave one column and then I'll show you another trick. Again, the same. Currency, and enter. Now let's say you forgot to format one row and you want to do it even quicker with keyboard. You want to highlight the next row that has the same formatting, and then we are going to use what we call the format painter. Some of us might already know it is under home, and to access the ribbon on top, all you need to do is press Alt once. It will again bring up characters for each of the tabs. So under home, you press H. There's a format painter right on the top left. You still see the characters. This time is FP, so you press FP. Now you see there's a copying box around it. Now all you need to do is press arrow right once. Oh, it's giving an error because I'm not starting from the beginning. Now you just copy the entire format to the next column. And then again for the date, right click Format Cell, or see the category to date. Choose the one you like, and OK. And there you go. That's how you quickly format all these cells in an instant. Other than the right-click button, there's also two other buttons you can use. One is Shift 10. If you don't have the right-click button, press and hold Shift and 10 is basically the same function. Or if you want to be even faster, Control 1 get you directly to the Format Cells window. Again, I would suggest you to go back to your workstation, go back to your own spreadsheet, and use those commands and shortcut for like 5-10 minutes. Let those knowledge sink into your muscle. Let them memorize them so that you don't have to think whenever you are using these shortcuts. Now, the next section I want to discuss is when your system is exporting text file. If it doesn't apply to you, congratulations. But it still applies to a lot of system, which is going to be something like this. Like when you want to export some data, your system is giving you like this. Fortunately, there's pretty easy ways to fix. What you want to do is to open up a new tab, and to open up a new tab is Shift and F11. You get a new tab, and then to delete them, you want to press and hold Alt and press E. It's actually not showing in any ribbon. It's a Microsoft Excel function, and then L. So let's do that again. Hold, press and hold Alt and E and L. You'll be able to delete that spreadsheet immediately. So again, Shift F11 to pull up a new sheet, and then let's rename it. And then to rename it is Alt O H R. Now you will see I immediately jump to the sheet name. So let's do import and press enter. Now to import that data we just saw, go to the ribbon data, and then import from text, which is on the top left, from the left. FT. Choose this and import. We'll bring up the text to column wizard. Sometimes if the data are not aligned very nicely, like the spaces between these cells, they are not consistent, then you want to choose the limited and then choose under what circumstances you want to separate the data into the next cell. But now because the cells are quite nice, so let's choose fixed width. And then go through that, see if they're nice. This step, however, is mouse only. That's why I usually hate it. But because my current company actually export data into TXT, so I do that a lot. Now all your data here, and it's simple as that. Now after you have practiced a little bit again on the text to column thing, again it's so unfortunate that your system does that to you. But now I would like to show a little bit of quick analytical tools that I use as a manager to quickly understand data. And if you're a staff accountant, trust me, your manager are going to appreciate if you do something like that. And when you first see a bunch of data, what you want to know immediately the sum and subtotal. I'll explain that in a little bit. So every time I open a spreadsheet, I will add 2 lines and then put the sum on top and subtotal. Sum and subtotal on top. I don't put that in at the bottom because I usually like to freeze the view so that the sum and subtotal will be always on top. And I believe everyone know the sum formula. I usually go down all the way to the bottom, so if I add any new data, it will still capture them. And then subtotal, right now just follow me. I will tell you why the subtotal is needed. Now when you're typing a formula and then it's showing right under the cell and it's highlighting it, you can just press tab to let Excel fill the formula for you. And when you use subtotal, you have average, count, maximum, minimum. A lot of these applies to statistics and finance people. For counting, for counting and subtotal, we need 9. And then again, give the same range, and then copy this across the column we need. Oh, what I just did is because the number are too long for the cells is showing this. What you want to do is to highlight them, go to Home, and then under Format, which is O, and Auto Fit Column Width, I. And then if you want even more formatting, like I don't like the font size right now, go to Home and then FF. Let's use Arial. Much easier to read. Another thing I like to do when I see a bunch of data is to apply filter. Most of us do. Then the shortcut is Alt A, going to the data, and T, filter. And then if you want a certain sector, say one government and enterprise, you'll see the subtotal formula automatically update to the total of what is being shown now, which is very useful when the sum is just right next to it for you to compare them. That's why it's always 2 columns. And next, I would like to show you another trick. A lot of us don't like pivot table because sometimes it's a little bit hard to get. I'm okay doing both, and now I'm going to show you a small trick which is doing something like the pivot table. Let's say under the statement there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 different categories, and I want to know the total of each of them. And this is how you're going to do it. You want to highlight everything using what I taught you, Control, Shift, and arrow. And here, Control, Shift, and arrow. Highlight everything, copy it, Control C, I hope everyone knows it. And then just paste what you copy to anywhere. Control V. What you're going to do next is to remove duplicates. To remove duplicates, go to Data, Alt A, and then remove duplicates is right around here. And then press M. Don't select any other columns, I just want to remove duplicates to the data we just recently copied. So remove them. So you see the 5 categories here. So since there are 5 categories, let's go up there at 7 rows. And then, grab these and just put them here. what I want to do is to get the number for each of these categories over here. So I'm going to get a sum and then totaling each of these. And in the end, I would also like to check if my formulas are correct. So it's this minus this. This should be 0. Again, I don't like the font size, then I don't like the fonts. So let's go ahead and change the fonts. And then since this is a check column, let's make it smaller. Again, it's home, and then font size is 7, italic, and make it red. So it's font color FC, red. And let's do a little bit of formatting so that it's easy to read. Let's add a line above and below this row, which is called H order, which is B. Bottom is O, top is T. So top and bottom, same for this one. Let's add the top. Now to create something similar to pivot table, you want to use the SUMIF formula. What it is telling is sum only if you see something. So the range is where you're going to find the criteria. I want to find government or the government in this column. So that's my range. Let's anchor it. And then the criteria is government. I'll only anchor the column. I'll explain in a little bit. And then the sum range is going to be here. And I don't want to anchor this one because I'm going to copy the formula to all the cells. So, this one. And this is all the government, 56. And to check them, just go to segment. Oh, when you have filter and you want to bring up the filter menu, press and hold Alt and down arrow. And then you can just use the arrow to go to different places. And select and select, press spacebar. And then take government. You'll see 56,400,000, 56,400,000, which is nice. And then to unfilter it, you Alt A to data and split filter. And then go ahead and copy formula to all of them, all of these cells. And then immediately you get your little pivot table, and then all the checks are 0, so it's nice. Now to explain a little bit about the formula, for those who are advanced level Excel, feel free to skip this. But what I did over here is because when you copy formulas to adjacent cells, what Excel default is to do is to move these columns and cells together wherever you are copying them. And I know the criteria is always going to be in this column, so I anchor column G. And I know the criteria where I'm going to find these stuff are always going to be in column A, so I anchor it. But then the sum range is always going to be following whichever column the cells is in. That's why I didn't anchor the sum range. So there you go. And the good thing about SUMIF formula is that if you change your criteria, you really don't need to change the formula. Say I want to go to product and I want to do a small pivot for product. Again, copy them, paste them anywhere you want. Remove duplicates, Alt A and M. Oh, and to move around different box, just press Tab to move one direction. If you want to move the other direction, hold Shift and then press Tab until OK. The button OK is highlighted, and then you press Enter. Now we have 6 criteria, so which means we need one more column right here. Doesn't matter which column. And then take these away. Grab these and paste them here. Copy this formula over here. And so showing 0 because we changed the criteria column. So let's move them to here. Reference field is also gone because I copied something over it. So let's put G1. Oops. Forgot to anchor the criteria. There you go. That's your little pivot. You can add how many columns for how many categories you want. And there you go. That's usually the first couple of steps I do when I first receive an Excel, and I do all these to get a general feeling of what's going on in these data. Now it was a lot of information, so feel free to take a break and just try it out so that your muscle can start memorizing all these shortcuts. So you don't have to actively think about what shortcuts to do when you're doing something. Now in the next about two and a half minutes, I'm gonna show you everything I just show you, so that you know how fast it is. You can do stuff and do some quick analysis without using the mouse. So let's start. It's just the same data we just import. This is the finished product, and I'm gonna start from scratch. First, just add 2 columns. Add the sum, add this total, and then add the formula, the sum, and the total. Just copy them, select them, change the format into currency, change the format into date, and then change the format into number. It's more place like that. Also separated. There you go. And then add some lines just to separate them, make them easily readable. Now this time let's use product. Do your analysis, remove duplicates, and then we have 6 product types. Let's add a couple rows, grab them over here, and put in our summer's formula. That's the product we want. That's our criteria. And if you want to move inside the cell, you press F2. And after you want to move outside, so you want to move around the spreadsheet, press F2 again, and then select the entire range. Here, sum. A shortcut to the sum formula is hold down Alt and equal. You get that, come to the end, go back, and then just the check formula over here minus this. Should be 0. And then change the color, fat fingers, sorry. Let's change everything here. And there you go. This is how fast you can prep a paper and do some quick analysis. And that's it for today's lesson. If you like the video, remember to subscribe. I'm going to keep adding my tools, my tricks when using Excel to this series of video. And if you think it's safe, like 1 hour of your time, please donate like $1 to my Patreon link. I'm going to put it in my description. And at the end of each month, I'm going to tell everyone how much time I hope my audience is safe. That will be a fun exercise to do. And if you don't want to do that, please watch the video from the beginning to the end with all the advertisement. Don't skip them. It would drastically help my channel a lot. And also let me know if you have any areas you want me to go over. And on top of that, I could also help with your analysis. Feel free to send me your case. I'm going to leave my email address down below. Send me your case and we can take a look at what we can do. And if I think it's worth mentioning on YouTube, maybe I'll even do it on YouTube. with every single step detailed. So that's it. Peace.